An interesting thing, a client once said to me that her boss said to her, she walked into the room to talk to him and she was kneeling down to be at eye level. And he said to her, never kneel down at eye level. Both stand up and talk. But she made herself seem so much weaker by kneeling to the ground to
Sure.
speak with somebody. And I guess by the same token, you don't want to always be looking up to talk to somebody. If you're seated, you should stand up to meet at eye level.
Yeah, people, physical space, right? Just the way that you interact with someone, whether it's they're above you, below you, it also has a lot of implications for power dynamics. I think this is one of the reasons you see that people go on stages, for example, when they're giving talks. Even the concept of looking up at people, it communicates power. So there's actually some very interesting research showing that where you are in physical space does have these direct implications you're talking about for power dynamics. And I would absolutely agree that kneeling down or putting yourself below somebody is going to be detrimental to the interaction. One thing that I do think is important, though, is, again, recognizing where someone is in relation to you and not necessarily kneeling down so you're below them, but also not hovering above someone who's a more powerful person than you. This could be very off-putting.
And then you get to the physical space of how close do you get to somebody and observe, especially I work with people from many different cultures. The physical space becomes an issue if you're too close for comfort, and if somebody is backing off, observe that and don't keep getting closer.
Absolutely, and it's one of those things that's hard to pick up on. So not only is physical space very important, so for example, hostile people get very angry and can become aggressive if you get too close to their bubble. So you see actually a lot of research on prisons going on about this. But in addition to that, the amount of physical space that someone wants is not only going to vary from person to person, but it's going to drastically vary from culture to culture. So especially in Eastern cultures, you see very different space dynamics than you see here in the West, which makes it hard to understand what the social norms are until you've actually integrated yourself with different people and different cultures to understand what's best.
And in the world, the real world and the workplace, it is very diverse. So we constantly have to be on the lookout for different reactions and observe people.